Well, good afternoon, a great afternoon to you all, and welcome to Thinking Tuesday. It is my pleasure to meet you here again at noon. You know, if it's noon on Tuesday, it is Thinking Tuesday. So I welcome you to Thinking Tuesday, this great oasis a thinking oasis, I call it, where we put aside some minutes, a few minutes, not very much, of our schedule. We take time out of our schedule to reflect on our thinking, to see if it's serving us well. We look at what is our mindset? Is our mindset negative? Is it positive? We determine how our mindset is serving us, and we have the courage, yes, the courage, to make changes that work to our advantage, to help us in our personal growth, to help us in our professional growth. Because by now, you know that everything we do is determined by our thinking. And so we have to be intentional about what we think, and not just what we think, but how we think, so that we may be more in control of the decisions we make and the actions that we take. You don't have to be a professional landscaper or gardener to know that if you don't take care of your garden, if you don't tend to your garden, the weeds are going to creep in and take over. And some of them look pretty. They bloom pretty flowers, but they're still weeds. So it doesn't matter what they look like, weeds are weeds. So they crowd out those beautiful flowers that we hope would bloom in our gardens. And what a great segue to our weekly Thinking Tuesday slogan, which, as some of you know already, and some of you are hearing for the first time, your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. And you, yes, you can choose to grow flowers, or you can choose to grow weeds. And many times we don't choose to grow weeds, but just because we're not tending to our minds, we're not tending to our gardens, the weeds are going to find their way in there. So we have to be intentional about tending to our gardens, tending to our minds, so that we only allow, or we're conscious, we're intentional about what goes in. Because what goes in is what comes out. So on Thinking Tuesday, we intentionally look for those weeds that we want to get rid of and replace them with those flowers, which are positive thoughts, adopting and entertaining new ways of thinking that will improve the decisions and the choices we make. That's what Thinking Tuesday is about. And those choices and decisions have to support the kind of person we are striving to become and the type of life that we want to live. What a great thought to know that we have so much control, but many times we don't exert that control. So, Thinking Tuesday is about helping you to be more aware of the power of your thought, the power of your thinking, and how it can be applied intentionally. So, today I want to continue to encourage you to cast a vision. Cast a vision of the new you in 2022. Doesn't mean we're not going to have challenges. We've been having some really, really great challenges since the early part of 2020. But we have resilience, and resilience begins with our thinking also. So kudos to you who have continued to move forward, thinking positively despite the challenges, because life is not promised to be without challenge. In fact, welcome challenges, because challenges allow us to grow. So, as I was saying, we have been thinking into how to begin to, for some of you, or how to continue, for some of you, to pursue goals and achieve your dreams. What are they going to look like in 2022? What are some of those things that you would like to, that you aspire to do actually, that you just can't get off the ground for whatever reason? Is it a new business? Is it starting a new career, perhaps? Moving up the ladder in your current job? Maybe purchasing that new home, your first home or your second home, or that beachfront property that you've been looking and thinking about? Or returning to school to complete that first degree, or enrolling for the first time. It's never too late. Is it making a commitment to a relationship that you have been nurturing for a while without making the commitment for some reason? Is it purchasing a new car, or turning a hobby or a passion of yours into a business? What about that idea about that product or service that you want to develop further, but don't know how to? You don't know how to build it or build on it and bring it into its physical form. What is that something for you? I just mentioned a few, but there are countless. What is that something for you? It's great that you have these thoughts and these aspirations, but they cannot remain as thoughts and aspirations forever. You need to develop steps to bring them to life. You need to reinforce that vision of what it would be like to achieve that goal and move confidently towards making this a reality. So it only starts with the thoughts, but it doesn't stop there. You have to develop and nurture a burning desire. It has to be something that you feel very fervently, a burning desire to have it brought into its physical manifestation. You can't just hope that it's going to. It needs some fire from you, because we know that hope is a good feeling, but it's not a strategy. So as I think about moving myself as well into our dreams and our goals and the new you in 2022, two words come to mind that I think are important in helping anyone to move forward in building their dreams and bringing them into reality. And those two words are accountability and application. Accountability and application. We have to be accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable to doing the things, taking the steps that's going to move us forward in the directions that we are seeking to go. We can't just say we want to go in that direction without doing anything to move us in that direction. And we must apply what we learn to see the progress that we desire. There's no magic to it. There is work involved. But we have to hold ourselves accountable, and then we also have to apply what we learn. So I shared with you recently of how I am holding myself accountable, and I am engaged with colleagues as we also hold each other accountable for taking the steps to achieve those things that we say we want to achieve. We can't just say it, but we are holding ourselves accountable. We talk about how we're applying the knowledge that we have and the new knowledge that we're gaining. As I mentioned last week, I think it was last week, yes, I have been spending 5 minutes a day for 90 days casting a vision of what I want to achieve in 2022. Because having a visual representation of what I want to achieve keeps me motivated and excited when I can see that, when I can project that, when I can cast what that final project would look like. We have to have vision. It keeps me engaged. And I want to encourage you to take this as a first step, as a strategy to help you get started if you haven't already. Or if you started and for some reason it went off your radar, it's never too late to start again. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, it matters how many times you get up, right? So your imagination, when I cast that vision, I'm using my imagination. Your imagination is the first step to creating something new. It starts with your thought. It starts with your imagination. Use it for the purpose for which it was designed. That's why we all have imagination. It's not just child's play, as some think as they move into adulthood. Yes, it begins in childhood, and it begins as child's play. When fun or pretend games, remember those that we used to play? And using our imagination to create friends that no one else could see except us, or driving that car that could not transport nobody else but us to our destination. Those were part of our imagination. But it's still a very, very important faculty that we all have, but unfortunately we neglect. But hey, remember that the planes that get us now from here to those exotic vacations that we take sometimes, or to visit friends and relatives, even now during the holidays, that was first a figment of someone's imagination. Those planes that we take before the airplane, long before the airplane was built and successfully tested. I'm just saying that huge bird, mechanical bird that flies us back and forth, was a figment of someone's imagination before it was brought into its physical form as what we know it today. And we see that there are constant upgrades. So you have the same ability also. I'm not saying you're going to build a plane, but you just might build the next plane that travels greater than the speed of light. I don't know, but it starts with your imagination. But along with that imagination, casting that vision as a starting point, there is more that's going to be required. We can't just cast the vision. That's important. That's the start. But there is more that's required. And one of those things that's required is accountability. How can you become accountable? Hold yourself responsible for finding the next steps that get you closer to your desired outcome. How can you do that? How can you make yourself accountable? Unfortunately, that is where we sometimes get stuck, because we do get stuck sometimes. We don't have all the answers. And unfortunately, many times we want to know how before we even get started. But we have to start first, or we will never find out how. Or sometimes we don't get started because we don't know how. Sometimes we don't get started because we're afraid to get started, for fear that we might make a mistake. We learn by making mistakes. We're afraid that we're not going to make the right decision. We never know all of the right decisions before we start to explore, to experiment. Or we might not start because we have a fear of failing, so we don't start. Or we might have progressed a bit beyond where we started, but we may have lost confidence because someone might have told us that our vision is just a pipe dream. How many times does that happen? Or we might not be encouraged by others because they can't see beyond their own self-limiting beliefs. And they want to transfer that to you. Sometimes, unfortunately, they mean it well because they don't want to see you fail, but at the same time, they're not encouraging you. They can only function at the level of their awareness. And so they might be trying to, quote unquote, save you. But what about you? What about your dreams? What about your aspirations? You don't have to buy into their lack of belief in you, because that's about them, not about you. There are ways to encourage yourself and others, and there are others who are willing and able to encourage you, just waiting for you to say that you need some help. And asking for help is not a sign of weakness as many feel. It's a sign of power. I talked some time ago, several weeks ago, about the power of asking for help. But back to the issue of accountability. There are often so many reasons for our inability to develop the standard of accountability to keep us on track and move us forward. But oftentimes we do have good intentions, but we are distracted by the daily life events, because that does happen. But how do we guard against that? Or we may get stuck in routines that siphon off our time. How many times have we said, well, gosh, where has the time gone? I just woke up and the day is finished. Because there's so many activities that distract us and siphon off either our energy. We might want to, but we don't have the energy to because we've done so much before. So that's where external accountability comes. Sometimes we have to start getting our accountability externally motivated before we can take it on ourselves. And that can be helpful in getting us started and keeping us on the path to success. So don't be afraid to ask. And then there's application. Application, when we apply something, is when we use it. We use it for a purpose. That's application. What's the use of having a dream or a goal if you're not going to apply what you are learning to bring that into fruition? Have you ever gone to an event or maybe a conference and heard a great speech, very motivating speech, very inspirational speech, or you've acquired new knowledge about something that you could really apply to your personal life or your professional life? But as excited and inspired as you were when you heard it, you have not applied it in your personal or professional life. So unfortunately, we have these experiences that are feel good experiences. That's where it ends. They make us feel good, but that's where the experience ends, unfortunately. We leave feeling good, but never apply what we learn to improve the areas in our lives where they may be applicable. So think about these things. What is it that you're trying to bring forth that you've not been able to so far? And I'm going to say until now, because it doesn't mean that there has to be a period there. You can put a comma there, which means that there's more to continue. All right? Think about that. So as you brace yourself to enter the new year, and there's so much excitement about the new year, what are you willing to change to make you more successful in your business or in your personal life, your professional life? What are those pursuits that you have that you want to accomplish? How willing are you to try something that you've never tried before? How willing are you to get out of your comfort zone? Because that's not where we grow. We grow outside of our comfort zones. And unfortunately, when we don't step out of our comfort zone, we neglect ourselves. And we neglect to experience the greatness that's already in us. We are fully resourced, as I continue to say, because I believe that wholeheartedly. We have only seen the tip of the iceberg of our potential, because we are fully resourced. We were fearfully and wonderfully made, for those of you who read the Bible. But we are fully resourced. How willing are you to get out of your comfort zone and experience more of the greatness that's already in you? And how willing are some of you to get back on the horse, get back on the proverbial horse, so to speak, and finish what you've already started, or get started on that thing that you've been ignoring to give birth to? And the reason why it's still on your mind and it's gnawing on the back of your mind is because it's waiting to be birthed. It's waiting for you to give it birth. When is the last time? Ask yourself, when is the last time that you did something for the first time? Allow yourself to do something for the first time. I ask you these questions to help you do some self-reflection. That thinking that I talked about at the beginning, that I always talk about. But to do some self-reflection and take action, to cast a vision, or if you already have one, to take action, to be held accountable, and to get started and to apply yourself. Apply those things that you're learning about yourself to move you forward to achieve your dreams and your goals. You know, last night I had such a wonderful experience with a young man that I have coached over the years. And of course, confidentiality will be kept, but it was just such a heart-warming conversation that we have had as he shared with me how he's grown. And he didn't really need to tell me that, but I could see it. I could see it in the way that he spoke and the things that he's doing. And he reminded me of how difficult he was not having the type of support that he needed growing up, and how he had to apply, as difficult as it was, apply some things, do some things for the first time, get out of his comfort zone, ask for help. And I was just so proud to see him and to see who he has become and who he still is becoming, because he realizes that growth is a journey. There's no destination. You never reach a destination. When you think you've reached the destination, there's always more to go, because you're now more fully aware of your potential. So it was just a beautiful story, beautiful night. And I really, really felt good. If I don't get any other gift for Christmas, any gift for Christmas, I will keep that as my gift, because it was so wonderful. I just love to see when people thrive, when they bet on themselves, when they invest on themselves, and when they dare to get out of their comfort zones. Sometimes you just need that push, that nudge to get you started, and perhaps someone to hold your hand. It doesn't mean that you're weak or that you're incompetent. It just means that you need some help in becoming more aware of what you already have inside of you, how to access that. Because there's no magic. But the feeling that you have when you've accomplished those things that you want to accomplish, when you get to know yourself and your resources, your inner resources, it's just a beautiful thing. Just a beautiful thing. So sometimes you just need a little nudge, someone to hold your hand and to reassure you that you can accomplish that thing, whatever that thing is. And I'm here to do just that as your coach. You know, last week I talked about a program that I'm launching on January 3rd, and it's called A New You in 2022. It's a 60-day accountability group, which begins on January 3rd and ends on March 3rd. And for 60 consecutive days, through virtual coaching, using Facebook, a private Facebook group, which is where we'll enter the information that we're working on, where I'll encourage you, where you'll ask questions. There'll also be a Facebook Live where I will speak with the participants once a week, encouraging them and giving them motivation to continue along the path that they have chosen. Each person will bring their unique project, whatever it is that they want to bring to fruition, wherever it is that they want to improve. And we'll work with those things in a group. You'll be in a group of like-minded peers who are all striving to do better, to achieve their dreams and their goals. And we'll celebrate each other's wins. We'll also encourage each other. There's no judgment. In addition to that, each person will have a 1 30-minute one-on-one coaching session so that we can focus specifically on their needs to bring their particular project into fruition. So you'll have a lot of support. Registration is ongoing. Registration is open now, and it ends on January 1st. So I hope that you will be reflecting on the things that you want to bring to fruition. What is that thing? What is that thing? And as my gift to you, this particular program is being offered as a holiday offer at 50% off. Now, you are worth every single minute or penny that you invest in yourself. You are worth it. So I invite you to go to my website, drcherylburton.com. The full description of this program is there for your viewing, as well as the registration information. I hope you will avail yourself of this opportunity, because there is no finish line in personal growth. And whenever we have the opportunity to grow and to move towards the better person that we want to be, because we can always improve, the more we can move towards attaining those dreams and those goals, the better life we'll have. So don't let those dreams and those goals just remain in here. That's where they start, but we have to bring them out. And this group, which starts on January 3rd, ends on March 3rd, is going to help you to do just that. So share this message, as I always encourage you, with someone who you feel could benefit from it. I'd also like you to share the information that you'll find on my website about that program. And also think about how it can serve you as well. You might feel that it's beyond your reach. It's never beyond your reach. Only you decide when you've reached the finish line. And as far as I'm concerned, you never reach the finish line until you have no more breath in you. That's my philosophy. It's never too late. So as I close for today, I want to wish you a happy holiday. I'm looking forward to seeing you next Tuesday at the same time. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you, if not all of you, in the 60-day accountability group. It's a supportive experience. It's there to encourage you, to make you feel excited about what you've probably put away and thought was dead, but we want you to breathe new life into it. But it's going to be a great experience. I have been in similar groups. In fact, I am in a similar group with some of my colleagues. And it's always good to just be in the company of like-minded people who are trying to grow and allow themselves to have the kind of life that they choose to have. So enjoy the holidays with your friends and family. Be safe. Take all the precautions necessary. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon. And take care of yourself, as always. Bye for now.